Hello, everyone. Reverend Tish Ramirez. Um, I thought YouTube would be a good place to start housing the bigger videos, the more in-depth ones. And this one this week really hit me hard. And it's like a twofer. I was going to talk about the second line of the Lord's Prayer, hallowed be thy name. But also, I was led by Spirit to watch the Chosen on Sunday morning. And even though I'd seen season 5, episode 5, that was the one I was led to when they're coming back from the road from Bethany, going back to Jerusalem. And they're talking about miracles and having faith. And Yeshua, or Jesus, whatever name's comfortable with you, Yeshua's what I resonate with. You know, he says to them, other rabbis tell you that moving mountains or obstacles or even impossible situations, they get in our way of pursuing or trusting the great creator. That we think, oh, this is so big. How are they going to do this for us? Or how? The biggest thing is, how are we going to do it? So whatever, and then he goes on to say, whatever you ask in prayer, believe you have received it and it will be yours. So what's that mean? We got to get rid of doubt. I had that revelation when I was watching this. I'm like, even in my prayers that night, the night before, Saturday night, and I'm like, well, if this isn't meant to happen, please, I'm okay with that. And then I heard Spirit, no, that is not right. You do not believe this way. It is when this happens, thank you, this is happening, which takes away all the doubt. Because when we put doubt in it, where are we going? Nowhere, in circles. You know? And that manifestation, that's the word, the manifestation of believing you already have it. That's the first time I heard that. And I'm like, but it's so simple that, okay, I got it. And since then, that's what I've been speaking out loud. My prayers last night, I'm like, thank you for this situation for happening. Thank you for this situation. I see the steps. I see my life as this. I see this happening. So I believe if we don't take the doubt out, all we're doing is disappointing ourselves. And that, once again, we're going to be walking in circles. And right now, we are in the Mercury in retrograde, which makes us look at our past. Makes us look like, what do we need to clear out? Pluto's been in retrograde since May. And it's the plan of rebirth and death. Not literal, but spiritual cleansing. And today, 7/7, Neptune went into retrograde, which is about your love. It could be the inner love that has no doubt. That love with the Creator that's one. No doubt that you are connected to Source. And also it could be a connection with another love interest or a family member or just a friend or a loved one that you're like on the fence of, where do they fit in my life? What are they bringing to the table? Is this a two-way road? And so that's what Neptune is going to make you look at. But also, the biggest thing I believe with all three of them is that ego death and becoming one with that Creator, having no doubt of your path, where you want to go, and what you're going to do. That is what this is about. And that brings me to the Lord's Prayer, the second line of the Lord's Prayer. Hallowed be thy name. And let's start with the word hallowed. You know, That's a big one. It actually means to treat something as completely unique, holy, and utterly separate from the ordinary. That lovely song, Taking You Out of the Ordinary. So when we say hallowed be, we're making a conscious statement. I'm stepping out of the chaos, out of the noise, and out of my own human doubts right now, and I'm lifting up my presence to become one with Source, the great creator, and nothing else can touch that. And we have to live it, feel it, and believe it. And no, I don't believe it's something that can be done like that. I have started my process. It has helped, but it is a daily thing we have to do. So let's go on to hallowed be thy name. And what is a name? You know, beyond a label, in Hebrew and Native, which I have a huge Native background, Native cultures, a name was never a casual label you called someone. It was a literal embodiment, a name of a person's character, their reputation, their authority, and their power. Because a lot of times a child was named something, and as they got of age, 15, 16, and stepped into their role, their name changed to what the clan or what the tribe saw their calling to be. So, thy name. Some of us call him Jesus. Some of us call him Yeshua, if that's who you pray to, or the great creator, or just Source. So, when we speak the creator's name, we are invoking everything that the creator is, that Source is, that healing protection, the healing provider, and the absolute truth of the connection of all that is. So, you know, when using the Lord's Prayer and hallowed be thy name, it's a mind shift that Jesus put before us. He asked us for that line came before we asked for our daily bread, before we asked for forgiveness, before we asked for protection from evil. And I feel the reason he did that was we have to honor Source. We have to honor the great creator and the connection we have with that. And I hope that makes sense. We put that first before listing all our problems. It makes the prayer holy, it makes it divine, and it makes it concrete. Because if we put the problems first, that's all the focus becomes. And we're also forcing ourselves to become one with the infinite magnitude. And I know that might sound hokey or fishy or to some, but I feel it deep in my core, that infinite magnitude of the creator, of all the Source, that we are one with that. And that anchors us in the spirit of the holy, the powerful, and the connection. And that's what prayer is about. Like I said before in the first one, connecting deeply. But we can't do that with doubts. We don't lead with problems. We start with the connection of the divine. And not all prayer has to be started out with hallowed be thy name, but most of us address something. Just whatever it is you address it with conviction and connection as being one Source. And it's even how you leave it at the end of your prayer. Same thing. Some say amen. That's fine if that resonates with you. I personally, once again, I say aho, the Native for make it so. Let this happen. Let it be. And I have a lot of Islander background, You know, if you see the Hawaii stuff, and that's Michael up there. I have a lot of that Islander background, so mahalo, you know, and aloha. The spirit of aloha is all encompassing. That's kind of at the beginning, but aloha, mahalo, aho, however you want to end it, just end it with conviction as you started it. So, you know, I hope this makes sense and resonates, because it's just a matter of the deep way, and I'm getting goosebumps as I say this all the way up the back of my head. It is always just about the Creator, God. God is all it is. They dwell within us as us. And that connection is through and through powerful. You can live it every day, every moment of your life, and it takes away that doubt when you know that there is no separation. So, thank you for giving me the time today. Please, please, please feel free to reach out to me. I have tagged my messenger and my business page. I am always open for readings. I can help you find your guides names, the purpose of that guide in your life right now. And if you do pendulum work, how to connect with them on the pendulum, with the pendulum. And I'm also still doing the past lives with the animal totems, that big deep dive into the past with your animal totems, and why they're here now, why these are showing up. Is it something I need to clear? Is it a connection with another person? Is it your animal? We have a map that comes with this, and sometimes we just need to be reminded of that. So I look forward to hearing from you all, and I truly, truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you all listening. Thank you.